The editor of Radio 4's Today programme, Sarah Sands, is to stand down in September after 3 years in charge. The announcement comes the day after the BBC revealed plans to cut 450 jobs and to reorganise its news division. So it was a good time to move on. BBC News.
Now on Radio 4, it's time for From Our Own Correspondent. Here's Kate Adie.
Good morning. Today, a lost childhood, a lost generation in Colombia. We meet the teenagers who were snatched from their homes to fight a guerrilla war. Berlin has always had a lively art scene, but we find it's no place for the faint-hearted. A year on from a fatal dam burst in Brazil, and lives are slowly being rebuilt. And in New York, popping into a hospital, our correspondent has something of an odyssey through the healthcare system. First, lockdown, quarantine, emergency evacuation. All the frightening terms which attach to the outbreak of a hitherto unknown virus, coronavirus. It's spreading in China and has already put its feelers into several other countries. Its epicenter, Wuhan, is in Hubei province, and our correspondent Stephen MacDonald reflects on the atmosphere it's creating.
We arrived in Henan province on board an almost empty train. Who'd want to head into a virus hot zone? People were going in the other direction. The small city of Nanyang isn't far from the border with Hubei, the heart of the virus emergency, and here we hire a car. You need number plates from anywhere but Hubei province. That's why we start our journey here. Cars from Hubei are like an open declaration that the vehicle could be carrying the coronavirus. As we approach the border, there are checks. We drive up to the roadblock where masked police wave over all cars to stop. Medical teams covered head to toe in protective clothing use electronic thermometers to scan all passengers. They're wearing goggles because scientists have warned that having exposed eyes could be a way of contracting the potentially deadly disease. Each time we clear one of these checkpoints, there's a sense of relief that you don't have a temperature. Then you remind yourself that the incubation period is potentially as long as 2 weeks, so this could all mean nothing. Drive down a small back road, hoping for an unobtrusive entry to the Hubei province. And here too, there's a small police roadblock. Sure, you can go in. We're not letting you back out, says the senior officer, who raises his arm, pointing down the road ahead with not a car on it, as if to say, "You're my guest." Ask him in Mandarin if there might be another road we could use to leave. He's not
I got hungry.
He turns to the 2 young police
Watch
officers
out for
beside
me.
him and
Get
delivers
behind
an
me.
order. Don't talk to them. They realise that this means they're preparing to lock down an entire province of 60 million people to quarantine a population the size of Italy. They press ahead and cross the border, not knowing how we're going to return. Inside Hubei, we drive through town after town which appear completely dead. If somebody told you that nobody lives here anymore, you'd believe it, until you see the odd person walking down the street by themselves, head down, hunched over against the cold, and wearing a mask for protection. The shutters are closed on shops. At times, stray dogs are the only obvious movement in the streets. What you would expect to see this time of year is people outside setting off fireworks, getting rowdy, perhaps even drunk, wandering to the next spring festival meal with family and friends. Instead, the cold wind blows the dust down the road and swirls it around the empty outdoor restaurant chairs. One upside for having to stay indoors for fear of contracting this fast-spreading virus during this period is that people's fridges are full. And then the new year is all about eating with your loved ones. So families are content to stay indoors, watch television, and climb right out the restaurant. We arrive in Zaria and head to the hospital because a woman's told us that she's worried about her sick husband inside. He calls us from his hospital bed using a phone app. Speaking through his face mask, he says he went to hospital because he had a fever. He still hasn't been told if he's tested positive for the coronavirus, but now he's worried he'll catch it anyway from somebody inside the isolation ward. I wish him a speedy recovery. Junin Zara Kung Fu. And as I hang up, literally bang on cue, the police arrive. They check our credentials and want to know what we're doing. At times, you do want to say, isn't it obvious? We're reporting on one of the biggest stories in the world playing out right here. Oh, grumble, grumble, grumble. We're going to have to speak to the local Communist Party officials about this. So we wait. This is a pattern which plays out nearly every time you travel for a story in China. First the police come, and then you stand around while they find the foreign affairs officials from the local government, and all governments seem to have them no matter how small. I'm painting a vision clear that I might pop over to the little corner shop across the road from the hospital, which is remarkably still open, so I can buy a can of coffee. Producer and cameraman stare at stupid reporter. During the virus outbreak, we're going to drink from a container stacked on a shelf by somebody who works every day across the road from a hospital treating coronavirus patients. Okay, coffee can wait. Finally, the government official arrives. He strides across the road, rips off his mask so he can smoke a cigarette as he splutters all over us, saying it really shouldn't be there. Everyone, including the police, has had dumbfounded that he now doesn't have his mask on. Our producer politely suggests that it really would be safe of him to put the mask back on. Nah, it's fine, he declares in a local dialect and finding it very hard to understand. We tell him and the others that the work they're doing to fight the virus outbreak is remarkable and important, and that we're just trying to bring that story to a global audience. He waves his hand as if to suggest, nah, it's not important. At this point, one of the police officers actually hands him a new mask to put on. He says thanks and puts it in his pocket. We realise that we're not going to be able to proceed any further here without the dozen police now surrounding us, following us everywhere. Maybe this is our ticket out. We tell the official that even if we wanted to leave, the entire province is now on lockdown with road, rail and air connections all halted. No worries. There went he says. It turns out, rather break those quarantine rules than have a team of pesky journalists around. Police escort with flashing lights on were driven back to the border where we don't escape completely. Those who've been inside the central virus impact area are not allowed to just return to the workplace. So here I am, reporting on the story from my personal 2-week quarantine inside my home in Beijing.
Stephen McDonald.
Exit right.
This month, Colombia's War Crimes Tribunal, the court created as part of the 2016 peace deal between the government and the left-wing FARC guerrillas, the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, began hearing testimony about the illegal recruitment of children and teenagers. The FARC, facing charges that it recruited more than 5,000, denies it forced underage soldiers to fight. Matthew Charles has been to the east of the country on the trail of the evidence.
Some people call it the Jewel of the Colombian
Turn
Amazon,
left.
but the region of Valpes is a place where young people have disappeared and their elders have been too scared to report it. Here in the tiny riverside community of Puerto Limón, they mourn what they call the Generación Perdida, or the Lost Generation. 15 teenagers snatched by the FARC in the late 1990s. In a village of just 160 people, that's almost 10% of the population.
Continue straight.
It's a place forever, but the pain of its families is hidden, private, and controlled. This is one of the most remote parts of Colombia. Visitors are rare, and the whole community lines up to meet me. One by one, they shake my hand, never making eye contact, as is customary here. The smell of the quinquira, a gloopy fish stew, is overwhelming. I'm handed pancakes made from yuca or cassava to dip in the spicy broth. Everyone knows why I'm here, but despite their warm hospitality, nobody seems to want to talk to me, not at first anyway. For the hundreds of indigenous settlements which call the jungle of Valpes their home, silence has always been safer than the truth. These are communities that have suffered repeatedly from outsiders over the centuries, and speaking out has always brought retaliation. For years, children here were born to become cannon fodder.
Turn right.
As the region's indigenous villages became the FARC's hunting grounds, the local youths their prey. I'm approached by Edwin Rodriguez, a man in his 60s, dressed in torn denim shorts and a Colombian football shirt that bears the stains of the most recent plantain harvest. 4. They took 4 of my children, he says quietly. Edwin is hesitant at first, but it's the first time that someone looks me directly in the eye here. It was 1998, he tells me. The guerrillas had taken control of the regional capital Mitú, but they were recruiting reinforcements to stave off advances from the Colombian military. 5 guerrillas came to the village. They lined up all the boys. There must have been about 12 of them between 5 and 17 years old, says Edwin. The FARC commander asked for volunteers to join their insurgency. He told them they'd have guns, food and girls, but his offer was ignored by the boys several times. Bang, bang, bang. The commander fired warning shots into the air. Many of the boys began to cry. Their parents were being held back by the other guerrillas. Then came the final warning. Volunteer or we'll shoot one of you every 5 minutes until someone comes forward, said the commander. Edwin stares at the ground and speaks quietly again. His head drops. My eldest, he was 17. He stepped forward, he says. Then he was followed by his 13-year-old brother. They were joined at the hip, you see. Is it wrong to be proud of them for that? It's not a rhetorical question. After an awkward pause, I can see he wants me to answer. It must have been so difficult, I say weakly. And then the two of Edwin's sons
Turn
were taken
right.
away by the FARC, marched off into the forest. But this was not the end of his torment. 2 days later, the guerrillas returned. This time they didn't ask for volunteers, they just came into my house and took my other two sons. One was 15, the other 16, says Edwin. He was beaten as he tried to protect his children. He's not seen any of them since. 20 years later, the whereabouts of Fabian, John Alfonso, Alejandro and Emerson are still not known. I just wish I knew where they were, says Edwin. After all this time, they can't be alive or they'd have come home. They'd all be grown men by now. Edwin's wife died 2 years ago, never knowing what happened to her family. She lived the rest of her life on autopilot, consumed by grief, he says. This is the first time he's spoken to anyone outside his community about what happened. I ask him why. Who was there to tell, he replies. Here there's never been a state, no police, no army. We've just been left to get on with it. And that's... He doesn't finish his sentence. His voice breaks and he begins to weep. He squeezes my
Turn
arms,
right.
still fighting to suppress his years of anguish. I'm so sorry, I'd say, lost for a way to comfort him. I'm so ashamed, he replies. What else could I have done? Tell me, please. Tell me I couldn't have saved them.
Matthew Charles. It's a year since a dam at a mine near the town of Brumadinho in Brazil collapsed, killing 270 people. The dam was owned by the mining company Vale, and last week 11 of its employees, including its former president, were charged with murder. Katie Watson has been to see how the community next to the iron ore mine is faring.
It broke just after midday,
Turn right.
when people were taking a lunch break in the canteen, close to the bottom of the dam. That was why so many people died. There was also a deep sense of dread that this was history repeating itself. Only a few years earlier, another dam, partly owned by the same mining company Vale, collapsed in nearby Mariana, killing 19. Had nothing been learned?
Turn left.
When I arrived, the whole community was hurting.